types. Up to now, we are studying what is a force, their different effects, types of force. Okay. Also, in last topic, we have studied about inertia. Okay. We are see definition of inertia, and definition of inertia tells us that it is a basic property of any massive body that due to that what happen, it always tries to resist change in it. Okay, whether it is in steady condition or whether it is in motion, bodies are always trying to continue in that particular state. Suppose if one big stone is here, okay, so up to years and year its position will not change. Okay, and if we try to change its position, then we cannot change very easily. Okay, because it will try to continuous in its state of rest. Also, if we are in motion, okay, suppose we are, I give last lecture I give you example of running. Okay, when we are running and when we are cover 100-meter distance, then we not stop at accurate 100 meter. Okay, at 100 meter we try to stop, but our body does not want to stop because it try to continue in motion state. Okay, so that is why we have to run further away 20-30 meter, then we can stop. Okay, so such a way that it is the very basic property of massive bodies, due to which they are always tries to resist in change their state, whether that state is our steady state or state of motion. Okay, that is simply called as a inertia of an object. Okay, now this inertia is depend on what? Mass of an object. If mass of object is more, then its inertia will be more. Okay, so one statement is generally used, that is inertia is the measure of mass of an object. Okay, if a mass is higher, then inertia of that particular object will be higher. Okay, suppose we have to move two stones, one of 10 kilogram, one of 100 kilogram. Okay, so 10 kilogram stone we can very easily move. Okay, it resists to change in motion, but by the application of external force we can easily change their state. But now suppose another one stone of 100 kilogram. Okay, there what happen, if you try to apply force, then we have to apply more and more force. Okay, it not get very easily displaced from its steady state condition. Okay, so generally what happen, if mass is more, then we have to apply more force on that object. Okay, and what is the meaning that we have to apply more force? Simply we do what here, we apply more force. Due to that what happen, we can change their state. Okay, so it resists more as compared to the 10 kilogram stone. Okay, so inertia is a basic property that depend on the mass of an object. If mass is higher, then ultimately inertia of that body or object ultimately becomes higher. Okay, now next topic we have to see, that is types of inertia. Okay, what are the different types of inertia that we have to see? Now there are three types of inertia. Okay, first of all, inertia of rest. Second is inertia of motion, and third is inertia of direction. Okay, so first of all we have to see inertia of rest. Okay, rest word is used here, that simply indicates inertia of object due to its rest position. Okay, in this type of inertia we have to consider some example. In that we have to consider the object initially in steady state. Due to that steady state, objects have inertia. Now consider one example. If we are sitting in a bus, okay, initially when bus is a start, okay, at that time bus and our body both are steady state. Okay, now as a bus start and it start to moving, at that time bus is moving, but our body initially in a steady state that tries to remain in its steady state. Our body does not want to change in its state. Okay, bus in motion, but our body try to remain in its original steady state. That is why we move backward when bus move forward. Okay, I think everyone should be aware with this example, that is nothing but the inertia of rest. Okay, inertia gained by object due to the its rest position, that is simply called as a inertia of rest. And its one example is when initially when bus move in forward direction, our body move in backward direction, because due to the inertia we try to attain our steady state. But now we sit in a bus, due to that bus is in motion, our body try to remain original steady state. That is why we move in backward side. Okay, so this is called as a inertia due to rest. Inertia gained by an object due to its rest position, that is simply called as an inertia due to rest. Okay, next is inertia of a motion. Okay, now inertia gained by object due to its motion. Okay, motion means what? Simply it has somewhat velocity. Okay, object is in moving state. If we have to change moving state of an object, then also here that object will resist to change in its motion state. Okay, due to that what happen? Inertia of an object that gained by its motion, that is simply called as a inertia of motion. Now again we have to consider example of bus. Now as a bus start, at that time it gains some velocity and we are sit in a bus, then we will also get same velocity as bus has. Okay, after covering some distance, now suppose some disturbance has come in forward of bus. Due to that, if driver applies brake, okay, at that time what happen? Bus stop. Okay, but our body now is in motion state. Okay, now our body also tries to remain in its motion state. Okay, it does not want to stop now. Okay, initially inertia of rest what happen? Body and object both are steady. Okay, but as bus start, our body try to steady condition, try to attain steady condition. That is why we move backward. Now in this condition, inertia of motion, if we apply a brake, at that time our body is in motion state. Bus stop, but our body does not want to stop. It try to attain its motion state. Okay, so that is why what happened? As a bus stop, our body move in forward direction. Okay, that is simply called as the inertia of a motion. Our body is in motion, so it tries to continue in its state, that is in its motion state. Okay, but due to the bus stop, what happened? So simply that is the motion of bus is stop, but our body does not want to stop. It try to attain its, it try to continue in its state of motion. So that is why we move in forward direction. Also I give you another one example of running. Okay, if you cover this much 100-meter distance here, okay, I already told you, but we are not stop here on exact 100-meter line. Okay, if you want to stop, then we have to cover more some distance and then we will stop. So in 100-meter, our body does not want to stop. It want to continue in the state of motion. Okay, so that is why we not stop at the exact mark of 100 meter. Okay, so that's simply inertia gained by an object due to its motion. and that inertia is called as the inertia of motion. Okay, inertia gained by an object due to its motion, that is the inertia of motion. And third is inertia of direction. Now here, inertia gained by an object due to its direction, simply that inertia is called as the inertia of direction. At like rest position or motion position, if objects are in motion in a one particular direction, so here what happen, here also objects tries to continue in that direction. Okay, they does not want to change their direction, and if we try to change their direction, then they will resist that change, they oppose that change. Okay, now simply consider one another example, that is also from bus. If we are traveling in a bus, okay, and if somewhat turn is there, okay, and bus take turn, okay, so now initially we are motion with bus, we are in bus, bus is moving, so our body is also moving with bus. Suppose we are going in this direction, okay, so our body also in motion in this forward direction. Now we have to move in this direction, so we have to change our direction. Okay, so what happened here, we change the direction of bus, but our body still want to move in this direction, it does not very easily change their direction. So that is why if we take turn, okay, at that time our body move in this direction. Okay, I think you are also aware with this example. If you try to take a turn at that time, we will move in opposite side. Okay, that I think everyone should be aware with this example. That is what example of inertia of an object due to its direction. Simply inertia gained by an object due to its direction. Okay, so simply if a body is in rest, if body is in motion, or if body is moved in one particular direction, as we try to change all these three parameters, okay, if you try to rest condition, if you try to motion condition, if you try to change its direction, then ultimately any massive body try to oppose in these changes. It does not want to change its rest position. Also, if it is in motion, then it does not want to change in its motion state. Or if it is in one particular direction, then it does not want to change that direction. That bodies want to try in their stay in their original position. They want to stay in their original position. So that is the property of a massive body, that they does not want to change their steady state, their motion state, or their direction. It is simply called as a inertia of an object. And these are the three types of inertia: inertia of rest, inertia of motion, and inertia of direction. Okay, so that also you have to well remember with there some examples that I already told you. Okay, and we already see definition of inertia. Okay, now next topic we have to see, that is pressure. Okay, now consider one our very daily example, that is if you want to fill air in tires of our vehicle. Simply if we go there, then we will see one meter, digital meter is there that indicates pressure. Okay, so generally what happens, if we have to fill air in a tire, before that we have to compress that air. Okay, one compressor is there, you see when you will go to fill air in tire. Okay, so one compressor is there, that compressor first compress that air. Okay, and that compressed air we insert in our tire. Okay, so first of all we have to compress that air by applying some electrical forces. Okay, that is one part. Now consider another one part. In suppose in our home we use hand pump for filling air. Okay, so there what happen, we use hand pump. Actually that hand pump do what, that apply pressure on air. Due to that pressure, air is displaced from one position to another position. Okay, so by the studying two example, we have to see what is there is somewhat connection between pressure and force. Okay, now consider another one example. Okay, we have to insert a nail in a wooden cardboard. Okay, suppose some wooden block is here and we have to insert a nail in that wooden board. Okay, for that we have to take one hammer and we hammer on that nail. If you see nail, then it has two sides. Okay, one side is very pointed. Okay, that we use for the hammering. Okay, then second side is called as the head of nail, that is the somewhat flatter side. So initially if you hit that nail from the pointed side, okay, if I place here pointed side and if I head on the nail of head of a nail, then it will easily insert this board. Okay, but now if I reverse the direction of nail, if I want to hit that nail from the pointed side, in I place here the head of a nail. Okay, so it will be, so which side, which condition easily we can insert nail in this board. Okay, so ultimately we know if we put here pointed side and hit the head side in outward direction, then easily we can insert nail in this board. Okay, so simply what happen, whatever the force we will apply on the head of a nail, that will be applied on a very pointed side. Okay, so if you see whatever the contact between that pointed side of a nail, okay, and whatever the force we will apply on nail, that all force will apply on that pointed side of nail. Okay, so whatever the force we apply on flatter side, that is the head, that will be applied here on the very pointed side. That is why very small area, that is the point side means what, very small area of nail is in contact with this board. So all force will apply on that very small area. So that is why that nail insert very easily inside the board. But now what happened in second case, if you place here head and we try to hit which pointed side, at that time what happened, head is contact with this board means large area is came contact with this board. Okay, and as large area came in contact, then it not possible to hit that nail and then it will be go insert in this board. Okay, so simply area also matters in case of pressure, force is also matter and area is also matter. So both are matter in case of pressure. Okay, so the definition of a pressure we see, then that tells us that pressure is what, force on unit area is simply called as a pressure. Whatever the force we apply on a unit area, okay, that is simply called as a pressure. So if we see the formulation of a pressure, the formula of a pressure is equal to force on area on which force is applied. So simply force upon area is called as a pressure. Formula of a pressure is what, force upon area. Now force is in numerator and area is in denominator. Okay, so simply if we increase force, okay, if you increase the heating force, so simply what happens is the pressure will be high because our area remains constant, but our force if we increase, then that ratio will be large. Okay, now take second consideration, that we have to increase area and force remains constant. At that time what happen, we know area is in denominator, force is constant. At that time if area increases, then the ratio will be decreases. Okay, so as we increase the area of a contact between object and surface, at that time our pressure will get decreased, because whatever the force we have to apply, that will be more affectable in that case when the area of contact is very less. If area of contact is large, then ultimately this ratio of force and area will become small. Okay, that is the meaning, is simply what? The pressure is goes on decreasing. So remember that as we increase area, pressure goes on decreasing, and as we decrease area, pressure goes on increasing. So here inverse relation of pressure with area. Okay, inverse means what? If we increase one quantity, then another decreases. So simply here, as we increase area, then pressure goes on decreasing, and as we decrease area, pressure will be increased, and it has a direct relation with force. As we increase force, pressure will be increased. Okay, so that part you have to remember. Simply, pressure is what? Force on unit area is simply called as a pressure, and its formula is force per unit area, that is the force upon area of contact. Okay, the next topic we have to see unit of pressure. In SI system, generally unit, we know force is measuring what? Newton. Force unit is what? Newton, and area we know is a measure in meter square. Okay, so unit of pressure is Newton per meter square is the unit of pressure. Okay, and this Newton per meter square is also called as a Pascal. What? Pascal, and it is write as capital P small a Pascal. What? Unit of, in SI system, unit of pressure is Newton per meter, and is also called as a Pascal. Okay, so but now in meteorology, okay, in meteorology the pressure is measured in another one unit. Okay, that's called as a bar. That unit is called as a bar, and this 1 bar is equal to 10 raised to 5 Pascal. 1 bar is equal to 10 raised to 5 Pascal. This value again you have to remember, because when we are solving problem, there we have to use these values. Okay, these units also you have to remember, because it carries separate mark in problem solving system. Okay, so simply today we are seeing inertia, different types of inertia. Okay, I again tell you, inertia is simply what? Every massive body tries to resist change in their state, that is simply called as a inertia. Then there are 3 types of inertia. We are seeing inertia due to rest position, inertia due to motion, and third is inertia due to direction. Okay, if object is rest, then also it tries to resist their change in their state. If it is in motion, then also it tries to oppose change in their motion state, and also object in one particular direction, then again it tries to change, it resists to change that direction. Okay, so due to that 3 factors, object have inertia. Also next topic we are see that is important, which is pressure. Pressure is nothing but is simply what? Force on unit area, that is simply called as a pressure, and formula of pressure is force upon area. Okay, force is measured in Newton, area is measured in meter square. So in SI system, unit of pressure is Newton per meter square, and this Newton per meter square is also called as a Pascal. Okay, but now in meteorology, okay, in meteorology the unit of pressure is used, that is the bar. Okay, BAR, bar, and 1 bar is equal to 10 raised to 5 Pascal. That is the conversion of unit bar into the Pascal. 1 bar is equal to 10 raised to 5 Pascal. Okay, so that much part we carry out in today's lecture. Okay, just read all this topic from the book. Okay, if you have any difficulty regarding to these topics, then please ask in comment of this video. Remaining part we will see in next